12 years had passed since Princess Illyria vanished from the royal palace of Varelia. It happened during a dark night when the sky was covered in storm clouds, and enemy raiders attacked the capital. Ships exploded in the air, soldiers shouted in panic, and civilians ran through the streets. In the middle of the chaos, the queen's only daughter disappeared without a trace. The queen, Erlindra, had never given up hope. Every year on Illyria's birthday, she lit a star lantern and released it into the sky. And every year, she whispered to the stars, "Come home, my daughter. No matter who you are now, you are still mine." Many thought the princess had died. Some believed pirates had taken her and sold her off-world. Others claimed she had escaped and chosen a quiet life far from politics and war. But no one had proof. The queen's heart ached, and the palace halls remained cold without her laughter. Then, one morning, everything changed. A strange ship entered Varelian space. It was small, shaped like a human shuttle, not marked with any known royal or trade symbols. The royal fleet surrounded it at once, demanding answers. But the voice from inside was calm and clear. "I request permission to land at the royal palace. I come in peace. And I bring someone the queen has missed dearly." Palace guards, ministers, and nobles all gathered at the landing bay. The queen stood at the front, dressed in a long blue robe, her silver crown resting gently on her brow. Her face showed no emotion, but her hands were shaking. The ship landed softly. A ramp descended with a soft hiss of steam. Everyone watched, silent and tense. First, a tall man stepped out. He wore strange armor, clearly human design but clean, polished, and respectful. He had short, dark hair, sharp eyes, and stood confidently, yet not arrogantly. His gaze scanned the crowd quickly, like a soldier trained to protect. Then she appeared. A young woman stepped beside him. Her skin shimmered with the soft glow of Varelian royal blood. Her hair, long and silver, was braided. In the style of the ancient queens, her eyes were bright green, filled with strength and tears. Gasps filled the air. Impossible. ... Could it be? The woman took a step forward and bowed deeply before the queen. "Mother," she said, her voice trembling. "It's me, Illyria." The queen froze. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. She stared at the young woman in front of her, unsure if this was a dream or a trick. "I was taken," Illyria continued. "But I survived, and I found a life, a purpose. I didn't return alone." She turned to the man beside her and gently took his hand. "This is Jason Hale. He is human, and he is my husband." The silence that followed was heavy and sharp, like the edge of a blade. A human? Her husband? Nobles exchanged glances. Whispers filled the room. The head of the royal guard reached for his stun weapon, but the queen raised her hand to stop him. "Illyria," the queen finally said, her voice soft but steady. "Step forward." Illyria let go of Jason's hand and moved toward the queen. As she came closer, the queen's face began to change. Tears filled her eyes. Her hand reached out and touched Illyria's cheek. "You have her eyes, her smile, ... She pressed her forehead against Illyria's, the traditional greeting of the Varelian royal bloodline. "You are..." "My daughter," she whispered. The entire court gasped again. The queen embraced Illyria tightly, not caring about the watchers, the whispers, or the politics. For the first time in 12 years, the palace felt warm again. After the reunion, the queen ordered a private council to discuss what had just happened. Illyria and Jason were invited to the throne chamber. Jason stood beside Illyria, silent and respectful. He watched the others carefully: generals, scientists, historians, and the royal advisor, Lord Karen. Lord Karen stepped forward. "Your Majesty, if I may speak freely, you may? We cannot accept this woman as princess without proof. She may resemble Illyria, but many could fake that in this human. What do we know about him? For all we know, he has placed our supposed princess under a human spell." Jason frowned but said nothing. "I expected doubt," Illyria said calmly, "and I'm ready to prove myself." She pulled a small crystal from her robe. It was glowing softly with green light. A memory stone, Lord Karen said in surprise. I've carried it since I was a child. A Varelian nanny gave it to me, while we escaped the attack. Inside are images and sounds from the palace. My mother's voice, my room, even my pet Glomuth. The queen took the stone and placed it into the royal scanner. Soft hum filled the room as the memories played. One by one, images appeared in the air. A younger queen, Erelindra, singing to a baby. A little girl laughing as she ran through the royal gardens. A voice calling, Illyria, dinner time. Followed by a child's giggle. Tears fell freely from the queen's eyes now. It's her. It's truly her. Still, Lord Karen was not convinced, and the human. Jason finally spoke, his voice deep but calm. I'm not here to steal a throne or gain favor. Didn't even want to come. Illyria insisted we return. Why did you marry her? Karan asked sharply. It for power? Jason didn't flinch. No. I married her because we fought together. We bled together. We saved each other's lives more times than I can count. I married her because I love her. The queen raised her hand again. Enough. I will hear no more accusations. Tonight, she looked at Jason, then at Illyria. You both will stay in the palace. Under protection? Until I decide how to proceed? Illyria nodded. Thank you, Mother. Jason gave a respectful nod as well. Thank you, Your Majesty. They were escorted to their chambers. Jason whispered to Illyria, that went better than I expected. Illyria smiled. You haven't met the council yet? That night, as the queen stared out at the stars from her balcony, she held the memory stone in her hand. Her daughter had returned, but with a human husband, peace or chaos only time would tell. The next morning, the royal palace buzzed with activity. Servants whispered in the halls, guards stood more alert than usual, and nobles gathered in secret corners, discussing the return of the lost princess and the human who stood beside her, Jason. Hale walked quietly beside Illyria through the palace corridors. Though he wore no armor now, his posture remained that of a soldier alert, focused, always watching. The Varelian guards eyed him with suspicion. Some even kept their hands close. To their weapons, Illyria noticed it all. Ignore them, she whispered. They fear what they don't understand. Jason gave a small nod. I'm used to it. I've been the outsider in more places than I can count. They were being escorted to a grand chamber where the queen had called for an official court gathering. All high-ranking nobles, advisors, and ministers were to attend. The queen wanted everyone to hear Illyria's story truthfully and completely. When they entered, the room fell silent, rows of Varelian. Lords and ladies sat on golden seats shaped like wings. At the far end stood Queen Erelindra, tall and proud in her white and silver robes. Beside her was Lord Karen, the royal advisor, and General Varnes, commander of the Queen's Guard. Jason and Illyria stopped before the throne and bowed. The Queen's voice echoed across the chamber. My daughter has returned after 12 years. Today, she will tell us where she has been and how she survived. Illyria took a deep breath. Remember the night of the attack. I was only 6, but the fear never left me. Our ship was hit. My nanny Soriel saved me. She took an escape pod and launched it into space, but the pirates followed. She paused, her voice trembling slightly. They caught us. Soriel fought them, but they hurt her. Before she died, she hid me in a supply crate. That's where a human salvage crew found me. Gasp. And murmurs filled the room. I ended up on a human colony called Arc 3. They didn't know who I was. They thought I was just a lost alien child. A woman named May took care of me. She raised me like her own. And when did you meet this human? Lord Karen asked, gesturing to Jason. I met Jason when I was 16. He was a young officer. In the Terran Alliance military, our colony was attacked by raiders again. Jason led the defense. He saved my life and May's. Jason remained silent, standing like a statue. We became friends, Illyria continued. Then partners. We served in missions together. And slowly, We fell in love. He never treated me like a strange alien. He treated me like ... a person. Some nobles looked uncomfortable. Others listened with interest. General Varney stepped forward. If this man is a soldier, I would like to know what kind of training he has. What battles has he fought? Jason finally spoke. I served in the Terran Alliance for 12 years, Special Recon Unit. I fought in the Battle of Thaler Ridge, the defense of Cinder Base, and the Galavian Uprising. I was wounded 3 times, promoted twice. He looked directly at the general, but my most important mission was protecting Illyria. The general nodded slowly. Impressive. Words are wind. We value strength in action. The queen raised her hand. Then let there be a trial of skill. Jason blinked. A what? It's a royal tradition, Illyria whispered to him. A friendly match to test your abilities. The queen turned. To General Varney's, prepare the trial ground. Tomorrow at first light, this human will prove if he is worthy to walk among us. That night, Jason and Illyria stood on the balcony of their guest chambers. Are you worried about the trial? Illyria asked. Jason stared at the stars. I'm not worried about a fight. I'm worried this whole thing could turn into a bigger war. You mean between humans and Varelians? He nodded. Not everyone in this palace wants peace. Some want power? Some fear change? Illyria leaned against him. We have each other. That's more than I had before. Jason put an arm around her. No matter what happens tomorrow, I'm with you. The next morning, the royal arena was packed. Nobles, soldiers, and even common citizens gathered to watch the trial. Jason stepped into the center of the training ring. Across from him stood Captain Drayler, one of the Queen's top guards, a proud warrior with shining armor and a double-edged staff. The Queen stood and raised her hand. This trial is not to cause harm but to show courage, skill, and honor. Let the match begin. Captain Drayler moved first, spinning his staff in quick circles. Jason dodged the first strike, then blocked the second with a simple metal brace on his arm. He moved with speed and precision, using less power, but more awareness, the crowd murmured. Jason didn't fight like a Varelian. He used quick sidesteps, low sweeps, and sudden counters. His movements were flexible like someone trained to fight many species. It's not just one. The captain charged again, this time using a high arc swing. Jason ducked, grabbed the staff, and twisted, disarming Drayler in one smooth motion. Gasps filled. The arena. Jason stepped back and tossed the staff back to the captain. We done? Drayler looked shocked but smiled. Well fought, human. The Queen stood once more. Let it be known. Jason Hale has shown respect, skill, and strength. He is welcome among us. Some nobles applauded. Others remained silent, but no one could deny what they had seen later that day. Queen Erelindra invited Jason and Illyria to a private garden. I watched you closely, she said to Jason. You could have humiliated my captain, but you showed restraint that speaks louder than victory. Thank you, Your Majesty. She turned to Illyria. You've grown strong. You speak with confidence. I wish I had seen you become this. Illyria smiled softly. It's never too late, is it? The Queen took her daughter's hand. You are my blood, my heir. But things will not be easy, I know. There are those in the court who do not accept this union. They will try to divide us. Are you ready for that? Jason answered, Let them try. I didn't come here to sit on a throne. I came to stand beside the woman I love. The Queen studied him for a moment, then nodded. Then I welcome you both. But be careful. Peace can be more dangerous than war. As the sun set behind the tall towers of the palace, a shadow moved. Through the underground tunnels, a voice whispered in the dark. So, ... the lost princess returns, and with a human, no less. It was Lord Threxel, a powerful noble whose family once held claim to the royal line. His eyes glowed with ambition. She brings trouble to our house, he muttered. And now the Queen welcomes her like nothing happened. Another voice, hidden in the darkness, replied, What will you do? Threxel smiled coldly. I must. If the throne cannot be mine by blood, I will take it by fire. The palace was calm on the surface, but underneath, tension was growing. Princess Illyria's return had shaken the royal court. Some nobles welcomed her with open arms, glad that the royal bloodline had been restored. Others remained silent, their hearts filled with doubt and jealousy. But one man was openly angry, Lord Threxel. He had always believed the throne would one day pass to him or someone from his bloodline. After Illyria's disappearance, he had worked hard to gain influence. He controlled a powerful noble house, had loyal guards, and many allies within the council. Her sudden return in with a human husband was a direct threat to everything he had planned. This is not just about the princess, Threxel told his closest advisors in his private chambers. It's about the future of Varelia. If we allow her to stay, soon we'll have humans influencing our laws, our army, our crown. But the queen has accepted her, one of his men replied. For now, Threxel said with a cold smile. But the people are not so easy to convince. Let's remind them what danger looks like. That same day, Illyria and Jason were invited to speak at the Council of Nobles, a traditional gathering where all major decisions were made. The queen sat on her high throne, with nobles sitting in a circle below. Illyria stood proudly, Jason by her side. I don't want to take power, Illyria said clearly. I only want to serve my people and stand with my family, your human husband. Lord Threxel spoke for the first time, his voice smooth but sharp. What does he want? Jason stepped forward. Nothing. I didn't come here for gold, land, or power. I came here because I love Illyria. That's all. Some nobles murmured. A few nodded in approval, but others looked doubtful. Threxel turned to the queen. Your Majesty, perhaps the people should decide. Hold a trial of truth. Let them hear her story themselves. The queen narrowed her eyes. She knew Threxel's tone was dangerous, but she also knew refusing might cause more doubt. Very well, she said. Tomorrow the princess and her husband will address the citizens of Varelia in the Grand Forum. That night, the queen met privately with Illyria and Jason. This is a test, she warned. Threxel wants the people to turn against you. I can speak from my heart, Illyria said. I believe they'll listen, and I'll protect her if anything happens, Jason added. The queen looked at them both, concern in her eyes. Just be careful. Threxel doesn't play fair. The next day, the Grand Forum was full. Thousands of citizens had gathered, curious and excited. Some had never seen the princess before. Others came to see the strange human she had married, Illyria. Stood on the balcony above the forum and raised her hand. My name is Illyria, she said loudly, daughter of Queen Erelindra. I was lost, but I survived. I was raised by humans kind, brave, and loving. I met a man named Jason Hale. He stood by me, saved me, and loved me. We are not enemies. We are family. Jason stepped forward. I am not Varelian, but I respect your people. I've fought to protect innocent lives across the galaxy. I would never bring harm to this kingdom. I only want Peaceand to stand beside my wife. For a moment the crowd was silent. Then someone shouted, Welcome home, princess. Another voice cried, Long live Illyria. The cheers grew louder. Many people smiled, clapped, and waved their hands. But not everyone was happy. In the shadows below, one of Threxel's agents pushed a small remote. A nearby power generator exploded with a loud boom. Smoke filled the air. People screamed and ran in panic. The queen's guards rushed to protect the princess. Jason grabbed Illyria and shielded her with his body as debris rained down. From the rooftops, unknown attackers began firing energy shots into the crowd. It was chaos. Jason acted. Fast. We have to move. He pulled Illyria through the hallway behind the balcony while guards tried to push back the attackers. 2 enemy fighters blocked their escape. Jason charged, dodged one shot, and tackled him to the ground. He spun and kicked the other one back into the wall. Are you hurt? He asked Illyria. I'm fine, she said, eyes wide. But the people, we can't help them if we're dead. We'll speak again, but first, survive. They reached a safe zone where royal guards took them inside. Later in the throne room, the queen stood before her court, her expression hard. This was not an accident, she said. It was an attempt to start fear and division. We will find those responsible. Lord Karen stepped forward. One of the captured attackers confessed they were paid by someone inside the palace. The queen's eyes narrowed. Search. Every noble house, begin with Threxel. But Threxel was already gone, in a secret location far from the palace. Threxel paced back and forth. The people did not turn, he muttered. They still support her, even after the blast. We should strike harder, said his officer. Attack the palace directly. Not yet, Threxel said. We need more support. There are other noble houses who fear her return. We gather them. We form a true rebellion, one strong enough to take the throne. He smiled. Once we take it, the people will have no choice but to accept our rule. Back at the palace, Illyria sat beside Jason in their chambers. Her hands shook. All those people, she whispered. They were there for me, and someone tried to kill them. It wasn't your fault, Jason said gently, but they're dead because of me. No, he said. They're dead because someone fears your voice. That means you're powerful. And now, we need to be stronger than ever. A knock came at the door. It was General Varney's. We've found Threxel's hideout, but he escaped. His forces are moving. The queen wants to prepare for a possible war. Jason stood. Then we should be ready to fight. That night, the queen called a war council. Illyria, she said, I once hoped to pass the crown to you in peace, but fate has chosen a harder path. I'm ready, Illyria replied. Jason, she continued, you've shown strength, not just in battle, but in protecting my daughter. I ask no not as a queen, but as a mother, will you help us defend our kingdom? Jason nodded. I will. The queen looked around the room. Then we stand united. Let Threxel come. You will find that Varelia does not bow to fear. In the distance, dark clouds formed over the hills. Ships were being loaded. Armies were being trained. Deep underground, a rebel force was gathering. The kingdom of Varelia was no longer just a home. It had become a battleground. The palace was filled with unease. The failed attack on the Grand Forum had shaken everyone. Guards doubled their patrols, and nobles whispered in hushed tones behind closed doors. But the greatest worry was not the attack itself, it was the shadow it cast over the future of Virl. In the royal chambers, Queen Erlindra sat with Illyria and Jason. The young princess was quiet, her hands tightly gripping the armrests of her chair. Jason stood nearby, silent and alert. We can't wait for another attack, the queen said finally. We must act first. Illyria looked up. But how, mother? Threxel has many loyal followers. He's hidden in the shadows. Jason crossed his arms. We need information, names, plans, locations. We can't fight an enemy we don't know. That moment, a loud knock interrupted them. A guard entered, bowing low. Your Majesty, we have captured an assassin trying to enter the palace. The queen stood sharply. Bring him here. The assassin was brought in, a thin man with dark eyes and quick hands. He looked nervous, but defiant. Jason stepped forward. Why did you try to kill me? The man sneered. You're human. You don't belong here. You took the princess's place. Who sent you? Illyria demanded. The assassin hesitated, then whispered, Lord Threxel. A chill ran through the room. The queen's face darkened. This is worse than I thought. I think the assassin was locked away. The queen called her council for an emergency meeting. Threxel has declared open war, she said. We must prepare. But we cannot fight only with swords and guns. We need to win the hearts of our people. Lord Karen spoke. Many nobles fear losing their power to a human outsider. We must show them Jason is loyal. Jason nodded. I am ready to prove myself again. The queen smiled sadly. Tomorrow you will join the royal guard on a patrol. Show them your strength. That night, Jason trained with the queen's elite warriors. He fought not just with power, but with speed and skill. The Varelians watched, surprised by his tactics and bravery. Illyria watched too, her heart swelling with pride. Meanwhile, Lord Threxel was busy, sent spies to the city, trying to find weaknesses in the palace defenses. He met with other noble houses, promising power and gold in exchange for their support. His plan was simple: divide the kingdom from within. Back in the palace, Valeria found herself alone in the gardens. She held the memory stone the queen had given her. Suddenly, she felt a presence behind her. "It's not safe here," Jason said quietly. Ilya turned, seeing the concern in his eyes. "I fear what is coming," she said, "but I cannot run." Jason took her hand. "You won't run. We face it together." The next day, the queen made a decision. "Lord Threxel's rebellion grows," she announced. "We cannot wait. I will speak to the people personally, Illyria." And Jason stood by her side as she addressed the citizens from the palace balcony. "Varelia faces a threat from within," she said, "but we are strong. We are united. And we will not be divided by fear." The crowd cheered. Ilya smiled. "At Jason, this is our home now." That night, the palace was attacked again. This time the enemy came with greater force. Jason led the guards in defending the palace walls. His human tactics helped the defenders push back the attackers. In the chaos, Illyria found herself face to face with one of the enemy's commanders. "You will never rule Varelia," the commander shouted. "I am not here to rule alone," Illyria replied. "I am here to protect my people, with my husband, with my mother, and with all of you." Her words inspired the defenders to fight harder. After the battle, the queen gathered her family. "We have won this fight," she said. "But the war is not over." Jason looked at Illyria. "We will face whatever comes." Together, Illyria nodded. For Varelia. The sun rose over the palace of Varelia, painting the sky in shades of gold and crimson. But beneath the beauty of the morning, tension gripped every corner of the kingdom. Lord Threxel's rebellion had grown stronger. His forces gathered in the hills, ready to strike the heart of the capital. Inside the palace, Queen Erelindra stood with her daughter Illyria and her human husband. "Jason, hail. The time had come for a final stand." "We cannot let fear rule us," the queen said firmly. "Today we fight for our home, our people, and our future." Jason looked at Illyria, her green eyes shining with determination. "We'll stand side by side," he promised. The rebels attacked at midday. Explosions rocked the city as Threxel's forces stormed the palace gates. The air was thick with smoke and the cries of battle. Jason commanded the royal guard with skill and courage. His experience as a soldier shone through as he directed troops, countered ambushes, and rallied defenders. Illyria fought alongside him, using her royal training and sharp mind to coordinate defenses. Together they became a force the rebels had not expected. The battle raged for hours. Every corner of the palace saw fighting soldiers clashed with rebels. Arrows flew through the air and the sound of swords rang out in the thick of battle. Jason spotted Lord Threxel commanding his troops. From a raised platform, "I'm coming for you." Jason shouted and charged. Threxel laughed. "You think a human can stop me?" They fought fiercely, their weapons clashing again and again. Jason's strength and skill matched Threxel's cunning and power. But when Threxel struck a heavy blow, Jason stumbled. Illyria rushed to his side, blocking the next attack with her dagger. Together, they pushed Threxel back. Meanwhile, Queen Erelindra led her loyal guards to protect the civilians trapped inside the palace. "We must keep the people safe," she said, "no matter the cost." Her leadership inspired the defenders to fight harder. After a long and brutal fight, the rebels were defeated. Threxel was captured, his plans shattered. The queen stood on her throne once more, weary but victorious. She looked at Illyria and Jason, pride shining in her eyes. "You both have proven yourselves," she said, "not only as leaders but as family." The people cheered, welcoming their princess and her human husband. In the days that followed, peace slowly returned. The scars of war were visible, but so was hope. Illyria and Jason worked together to rebuild the kingdom, bringing new ideas from both. Beryllia and Earth. The queen smiled. This is a new era for our family, and for Beryllia. Jason looked at Illyria. We faced the impossible, and we won. Illyria nodded. Together, we can face anything. The stars shone brightly that night, shining down on a kingdom united by love, courage, and hope.